So in last week's episode, we looked at learning the time warp. I got some really good feedback from that, including some from Paul, who has actually competed in Global 3D a number of times. And I think in 2022, he actually did the time warp as one of his set maneuvers. And he was saying that one of the things to help him was that he would do a time warp, but without the Tictocs. So that's going to be the figure of 8 with a one rotation in and the other one with a rotation out, which I think probably looks like something like this. So that's the 3 o'clock position. 6, 9, 12, and then we rotate rudder direction. 3, 6, 9, 12. There we go again. 3, 6, 9, 12. 3, 6, 9, and 12. And if we add the Tictocs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So hopefully that should help make it a bit clearer in terms of what's going on, and also it's a really good exercise to do. So some of the other exercises that we can look at, because I think the learning the time warp may have been we went a bit too high level, too fast. So we'll start with some of the easier exercise. So we'll begin with Aileron Tictocs, and I think we'll do it in a straight line at first. Once you're settled with that, you can turn it into a square. Go. Come around. Finish the square. Now once you can do a square, you can turn it into a circuit. This makes it slightly more difficult because you've now got to round the edges and really guide the model to stay on the path. And then from the circuit, you can do a figure of 8. So the figure of 8 is a little bit more complex because you are then the arc turn that you're doing is in the other direction. Do this side of the figure of 8. And then another exercise you can do is a simple rotation. So on the spot, rotate the model very slowly. And that's it. We can then go on to tail down Tictocs or nose up Tictocs. Start the same exercises again. So we'll start with a straight line. Turn it into a square. And you're looking to control the speed. Make it a nice consistent speed. Keep the height consistent. After the square, we're going to do the circle, the circuit. You want to keep that model up straight. You shouldn't be leaning it to the side to try and give you that sideways movement. Keep it nice and straight. For the circle, we'll do a figure of 8. What this is doing is it's just building those neural pathways, that muscle memory, so that you can, so that you build it, it unloads the brains. So if we do nose down as well, do a straight line, turn it into a square. Right, so what I'm talking about unloading the brain is that when you're doing Tictocs, initially, you're probably going to be at maximum brain capacity. What happens is with practice, your neural pathways and your muscle memory takes a bit of the work over, and you actually have a bit of capacity to then think about things. So you can start thinking about where do I want this model to be? You can think about how is the wind going to affect me as I go and turn, as I go around this corner. You know, you've got a little bit more mental overhead where you can actually cope with other things that are going on. And if you've done those, you can also do some 4-point. So we'll do some 4-point Tictocs. So 4-point Tictocs are currently in F3N as well, and you can do them as reversed. So if we just do the same again, 4-point Tictocs, start with a straight line, turn it into a square, get a bit messy. Back, oops, let's keep that momentum going. Try and turn it into a circuit. It's getting very messy because I'm speaking while I'm trying to do it. There we go. So there's a circuit and then a figure of 8. So this is where it gets really complex, and I find that visualization, which we did speak about briefly in the last episode, so you've got to think about where do you want that model to be. So I want it to be there. So you've got to see the model where you want it to be. And if you do it on the spot as well, so we're just going to do a regular rotation. So I'm seeing where I want the model to be. Another one you can do when you're getting used to the time warp, you can do some 45s. So if we do 45 degree Tictocs, do exactly the same thing again. Straight line, turn it into a square, come to the far side, bring it back in, oops, and bring it straight line in front of us, bring it into a circuit. And this is really good exercise because here you're playing with the aileron and elevator to keep the momentum, keep the height. And this is exactly the sort of thing you need to be doing if you want to learn how to do that time warp. Okay, so that wasn't a very good corner. Let's see if we can keep this going. Let's keep that 45. Let's push that nose around. Okay, and then we'll just do a rotation. Right, so some really difficult exercises in there, but probably a little bit easier, than the previous episode. I think we just aimed a little high. But if you can get to the stage where you're offloading kind of some of that work just to your muscle memory, and you've got more time to think, once you start doing the time warp, it'll be a lot easier. So let's just do another time warp. We'll start off in front of us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12. Right, so I hope that made it a little bit more clear in terms of what we were looking for, or what the time warp involves, and hopefully there are some easier exercises in there that you can attempt. Until next time.